Law enforcement agencies will be out in full force on Cape Town roads this Easter weekend. Officials are bracing themselves for high traffic volumes as holidaymakers and locals are travelling in and around Cape Town over the long weekend. So perhaps for more on the story, we will cross to SABC News reporter Corbin August, who's at the Goodwood Fire Station, where officials are expected to provide an update on the traffic situation. Corbin, good afternoon. What's the latest on your end ahead of the Easter weekend?
Well, good afternoon to you, Liesl, and good afternoon to the viewers. Yes, indeed, we are currently positioned at the Goodwood Fire Station here in Cape Town, where law enforcement officials and the City of Cape Town are expected to provide an update on the current situation just with regards to traffic in preparation for the upcoming Easter weekend. As the long weekend approaches, law enforcement officials are bracing themselves for high traffic volumes on the major routes in and around Cape Town, and they are preparing themselves for a bumper-packed holiday for this weekend. So we've got various law enforcement officials who are patrolling the major routes. As we were traveling from the office this afternoon also, it was around maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock, and we could already see these high traffic volumes flowing out of the city centre and heading towards the busy highways, the N2, the N1. And we're just bracing and preparing ourselves now for what's going to come, especially here in Cape Town and especially now over the Easter weekend. But we do have the Mayoral Committee Member for Safety and Security in the City of Cape Town, JP Smith, who's joining us now to talk to us a bit more about their preparations for the upcoming weekend. So thank you very much for joining us. Hi. So if we understand correctly, we understand that there are preparations underway, just law enforcement agencies monitoring the major routes just with regards to traffic. Can you give us an update just what's happening so far?
Yes, so a lot of planning goes into these kind of weekends. This is a time when our recreational facilities, public places like shopping malls and others, our beaches, see a huge increase in activity. And the CBD at night at other recreation areas, a lot of extra people, a lot of visitors from out of town. Obviously heavy traffic then expected later on the N2, N1, N7 and R27, the coastal road, where everybody who's visiting here is arriving and people are starting to leave. Those volumes not quite so heavy yet. We're expecting them to intensify tonight. And then tomorrow morning, there's quite a lot of activity. One of the big things we do in anticipation of that is the Operation Exodus, where we monitor at all the major ranks, the people using buses and taxis, long-distance buses and taxis, making sure that those vehicles are fit for transport and that the drivers are fit, that the vehicle roadworthiness is appropriate, with the intention to avoid the accidents and loss of life in the first place. That is always associated with Easter weekend. And then we will have operations on all the major roads. We've got vehicles every 2 kilometers, vehicle interspits, so we can respond quickly to a breakdown or an accident or incident on those roads, and assist motorists, and also look for pedestrians, because at this time, often with celebrations, people are inebriated and cross roads, and it's the pedestrian that comes second in these altercations. We also have people at our shopping centres, so at the 42 major malls across the city. We have people, and then staff deployed, obviously, for the beaches. We're anticipating, because the weather is fairly pleasant, we're expecting people to go to the beaches. So with the normal beach and festive season operations in those spaces, with lifeguards, response and rescue capability, and enforcement staff managing the traffic volumes. And then there are some religious and faith-based events across the city, which we have to work with and make sure that we manage the traffic to and from those, as well as an event at the stadium.
Okay. And then just maybe if you can mention, what are some of the busy routes that you've noticed so far, and what are some of the major routes that the city will be monitoring just now over the long weekend, just with the increase in traffic volumes?
Okay. Well, N2, N1, the N7 and the R27, the coastal road, those are the ones which will see most long-distance traffic. But at night, it becomes the CBD and other recreation hubs in the city. So we will have 24-hour roadblocks in many areas. SAPs have planned quite a robust network of roadblocks, and we will be supporting them at these roadblocks. We will also have roving operations and the random breath testing equipment out on the road to check for alcohol, which is still a major headache for us, either people using alcohol on the beaches and being reckless, or alcohol consumption on the road, and we will have absolutely no tolerance for that. Operations will very specifically be focused on drunk drivers. And then also in the CBD enforcement operations to look at opportunistic crime related to these recreation and nighttime entertainment venues. And then Operation Exodus is well underway. We just checked and we can see that our big roadblocks are already in place doing what they need to be doing.
So thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you speaking to the SABC. And that was the Mayoral Committee member for Safety and Security here in the city of Cape Town, JP Smith, just briefing us and telling us that the city's law enforcement officials, traffic and Metro Police will be out in full force on the city's roads. They will be monitoring roads, the beaches, all of the popular destinations where locals and holidaymakers usually visit to enjoy their time, and they are bracing themselves for an extremely busy long weekend and just ready with enforcement and just making sure that they enforce compliance and also make sure that holidaymakers and locals enjoy their long weekend, but they also do it in a safe way.